Hello and welcome. New show, new day, new stream, another day in isolation. All right, this is the virtual beer show. My name's Aaron, host and creator of the Cascadian Beer Podcast. Also, the recent creator of StayHomePubQuiz.com on Friday nights. We've been having fun with that. Sorry again for those that tuned in for the stream malfunction on Friday night. I have hopefully fixed the problem for this coming week and have a big lineup of guests too. But we have a new show, and I have some guests standing by. And yeah, this is just something new, something different, something interesting to do here while we're in self-isolation. Might make this a weekly show, might make this a bi-weekly show, but whatever that case may be, this is the inaugural episode, and lines are open, everybody. Lines are open. If you have any questions at all, pop them in the chat wherever you're watching this. We're live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch. I'm looking across all those chat rooms, so if you have any questions at all for our guests tonight, then, pop them in the chat. But with that, I should bring on our guests. And so joining me live from New Westminster is Clete of Another Beer Co. And live from Spokane, Washington, it's Matthew from Whistlepunk. So, hey.
How's it going, guys?
Oh, good. So, so first off, cheers. I mean, you got a beer in hand. I mean, what are you drinking, Clete?
I'm having our Czech Pills poured out of our side pull handle. So,
right,
nice and frothy.
Yeah, and I got a Inger Doppelbock the Celebrator. So,
all right,
one of my favorites.
Okay, 1 second here. I've spotted an issue.
What's the percentage on the Inger?
It's low. It's 6.7. Low for a Doppelbock. Low end, at least.
Yeah. You just find that in the grocery store?
Total Wine, baby.
Or Total Wine. Yeah, Total Wine.
Unfortunately.
Hey, that's hard. I mean, like, Total Wine's super great for that,
imports,
that European,
especially.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Okay. Boom. Fixed it. All right.
Excellent. All right.
Okay. Sorry for the audio issues. I just got this new setup in this last week, and so I don't like virtual routing. I like physical things that I can physically see stuff being routed through. So, anyway, Clete, you are the co-owner of Another Beer Co., right, in New West?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we opened up last year in May, and it's been a kind of a wild ride. This first year had a great summer, through a couple killer parties, big beer fest, had like 8 other breweries out, and then we did a big Oktoberfest and cruised through the winter, kind of figured out a little bit of this industry from a total kind of owning a brewery kind of lens. And then, of course, we are getting prepped for summer, and boom, we're in this kind of crazy time.
Yes.
So, yeah. So who knows? I don't know if it's an interesting first year. Yeah.
And then, Matthew, tell us about your brewery out in Spokane.
Yeah, so we're with Whistlepunk Brewing. We've been in business about 4 years now. We've had our tap room up and running for 3 next week, I guess. And so we're going to throw a killer 3rd anniversary party next week. But yeah, and then it's my dad and I are owners, and we do a lot of lager beer and a lot of small batch beers. So we brewed over 100 different beers last year. So it's kind of a constant rotating tap list.
Mm-hmm. And so I need to point out, you guys are brothers. So
we are.
Yeah. Not just beer brothers, but actual brothers.
Yeah. Kind of crazy.
So then my favorite question to start with is how did beer find you? Clete, let's well, actually, who was the first to find beer out of the two of you?
It was definitely Matt.
So I'm 2.5 years older.
Yeah.
Right. So how did beer find you,
so My dad, or our dad, I guess, was a home brewer in the early 80s. And so we kind of grew up with carboys in the house and things like that, and doing the Oregon Coast every year and going to Pelican Brewing, Rogue Brewing, things like that. And so I have a lot of memories at Rogue Brewery, and like just Dead Guy Ale being around, and we would drink Henry Weinhard's root beer, and my dad would have Rogue Dead Guys. And so it's a fond memory of mine. And so the day I turned 21, I went and bought a 6-pack of Rogue and a home brew kit and started brewing.
All right.
And that was actually so kind of spiraled from there.
And then was it that home brew that you were enjoying, Clete, that got you into beer, or was there something else?
Yeah, no, I mean, it was definitely just seeing my dad we bought him a homebrew kit around the same time Matt got his. And then my dad was kind of like stoked on it and just kind of reliving those glory days a little bit. And we said, well, why don't we hook you up with one? So we gave him that for a Father's Day gift. And then just watching these two, just brew and just, tasting some stuff, but more so just seeing kind of seeing the industry a little bit from just a homebrew angle. And then just kind of, the moment I turned 21, of course, I was like the beer guy. There's always one, right? In a friend group. And so in my group in Canada, I went up to Simon Fraser University for schooling. And then, like I said, I was the beer guy and I was the home brewer of our group. And then all of a sudden my family was opening a brewery. And the plan was actually that I was going to, me and Matt, we have notebooks dating back to 2010 about, scheming up this thing. And so I was going to move back and be a part of that brewery. And initially, the initial concept, it was called Hanson Brothers Brewing. It was going to be me, Matt, and
which you're wearing a shirt of, by the way.
And so it's a throwback shirt in the closet for today, definitely, yeah. And then I just ended up staying at my wife, and so I thought that dream was going to die for me. And Vancouver, can be tricky and expensive, but just kind of penned down my goals and just stayed at it and had a vision and met a good business partner. And Alex just loves beer as well, and off we go. So.
All right, cool. And so were your breweries opening around the same time, or was there a slight gap there?
Slight gap.
Yeah.
That's was.
We were
years ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, we were a couple years ahead. We had kind of got the ball rolling and started buying equipment here and there, used equipment, and started trying to make it a reality, and it took a long time, but we eventually got everything pieced together and kind of boneyarded a home, like a brew system that we still use to this day. So.
All right, cool. And what's the size of your brewery, Matt?
So we're very small. We're basically a 3-barrel brewery. We brew at a pretty furious pace, and a lot of them are double batches, obviously. And 100% of the products sold out of the tap room. So.
Right, cool. And then Clete, what's the size of your brewery?
Yeah, so behind me, you can kind of see there. So we have a 10-barrel brewery, so 12 heck. Our brew house was actually purchased from Moody Ales. And so that's kind of where we picked up that equipment, and just worked with Dan and Adam, and got to brew with them over the summer and kind of learn on that equipment. But we bought, kind of keeping with the spirit of what me and Matt had envisioned, we go 10 barrels into 10 barrels, and you'll see we have one 20-barrel tank. And so everything is trying to push as much as we can out of the tasting room. And then we kind of do a limited run of cans and a limited run going out to bars, but not very big in either of those segments. So.
But that's obviously changed in recent weeks too, right? Are you doing more packaging now?
Yeah. Yeah, the canning run, not today, next Monday. And it's everything is going to go in cans. We've never thought I never thought I'd do that ever.
Yeah, but who are you canning with?
We're going to be canning with Vessel right now, but we're so blessed up in this area. We got 2 great companies with Vessel and Mile 37 and Rory and those guys. Both groups do a great job. So just usually who can provide dates and whatnot. So
and that's kind of tough now because everybody needs to can, right? So
exactly, yeah.
And so how's this whole event affected you, Matt?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy because we did, crowler sales at the tap room. And it was maybe 15% of our business was beer to go out of the tap room, but we had that we actually got from Clete, a 16-ounce seamer that we had just never put into use. And so we've been running that thing like crazy, selling tons of cans. We had a good buddy get us some labels, rush us some designs, and overnighted some labels in. So yeah, and then we were lucky enough to get on we were early with the pallet ordering of cans and crowlers, so we didn't hit the big backup, but the people ordering like one day behind us were experiencing lots of delays with the cans shortage. So we got a ton of cans, and we've been blessed. People are coming through, and we've been pushing a lot of them. So yeah, and, allowed me to keep brewing.
And like with that though, I've seen some breweries in Seattle in particular doing like growler exchanges. Are any of you thinking about doing that anytime soon? I mean, I know it's a little tricky. But like I've seen some breweries in Seattle like bringing the growlers in, putting them through the proper dishwasher and sanitation solution and stuff. But basically, you don't get your growler back; you're just donating it into the system. So
correct.
Yeah,
we haven't had to do it. We said right away we weren't going to be filling personal growlers. We had a few left that we never planned on reordering growlers, so we sold the rest of those and trying to just do the can format right now. Works a little better for us. But yeah, we have a couple breweries doing the same thing where you can bring them into the system. They'll properly sanitize them, wash them, so everything is safe and something you can feel good about serving.
Yeah, I mean, personally, we've been kind of standoffish with growlers from the beginning as a brewery, trying to push cans. It's never been a segment we've tried to push. We've never actually even made a growler with our own brewery name on it. But during these times, it's definitely something that we're gonna be looking at. And I know like this week coming up, I'm sure we'll discuss it between me and Alex and our team meeting and other relevant brewing staff and production staff. So we'll just kind of look at that. But of course, you got to add that piece of equipment, and what does that look like? And can you guarantee that you're going to do this correctly? Because the last thing you want is, I know with this CAM product, we got the system down. We can keep everybody safe in terms of our end. Yeah, you just want to make sure you're doing your due diligence on it, especially during these times. So,
yeah. And so have you, like in terms of like your production and output, are you going to be in a situation where, we might see a lager that you can sit for a really long time, depending on how long this goes on for? Do you have any plans of any creative beers to be doing at this time at all? Any of you?
Well, Matt was just talking about, I'll have him elaborate further, but before we got on air right now, Matt was just talking about all the lagers that he's kind of been just to kind of put away for a moment while he keeps up with some other stock. But you can elaborate on that, Matt.
Yeah, so we brew a lot of lagers in general. We have about 50% of our tap list is lagers. And so we always kind of have a lot, but it's even ramped up more. We're brewing, it's like what sells right now. Our Czech Pilsner is selling really well, and then hazy IPAs and fruited kettle sours. So I've been continuing to brew hazy IPAs and sours, keeping those going, but everything else has been lagers. So just last week, I brewed a Helles Bock, a Helles, and like an export, Dortmunder export lager. So basically 3 versions of a very similar beer. And but it's nice, we can treat those properly and lager them for, the proper amount of time. And so when we do get to open back up, they'll be sparkling and perfect, hopefully.
Well, I have a question here online. I can only assume the meaning behind this. They're like, when are we going to see the ultimate collaboration? And I'm assuming that just means between the two of you actually doing a collab here. So
it was April 20. No, I mean, sorry. It was March 26th was supposed to be the date.
Right.
Yep. Yeah. Literally, it was all lined up. we've discussed doing like a Zoom collaboration and then having me like hold up the camera as we dump in hops together or something like that.
Or you know those robotic segways with the iPads on them? Like maybe get one of those and you just drive the bucket around.
Yeah, so it's definitely planned, and we're really excited about the concept that we have mapped out. And the person, I should say, Joshua Rhodes, really good friend of ours who did Matt's labels. We got him lined up. So it's like this family, good friend kind of collaboration, the ultimate collaboration, and international brothers and brew collaboration. But anyways, yeah, I mean, I don't know if we're going to decide to brew it sooner and literally follow up on that kind of digital idea just so we can release this beer and have something fun to talk about. And during these interesting times, it's definitely designed for better, warmer weather.
No secrets, no giveaways on what this beer is. So,
well, I mean, there's not, it's not totally crazy or out of this world, but basically we're looking at doing just a totally loaded, it's going to be called Cruel Summer. And it's a kind of like mild, sour, hazy IPA with like a mix of just fruits and just a bunch of stuff going in. So you got a little bit of tartness going on, then kind of big IPA notes from the hops, along with blended in multiple fruits blended in. So it should be fun. I mean, it just sounds great on a warm weather day. So
it's expensive and
yes.
So yeah, exactly. So yeah, it looks like we're doing it here.
Yeah.
Well, given given the real like conditions, if you know the borders were open and we were able to travel, like what ingredients would you be bringing to each other? Would there be any cross-border ingredients that you'd bring?
Yeah. So part of this whole collaboration thing was really like the thing we've been most excited about, having separate breweries together for, and it's just taken a little longer, but than we expected, but there's going to be plenty to come. And one of the things we were working on is we work pretty closely with a local maltster in Spokane that does a really great job, Link Malt. And so we wanted to be able to do a beer that is Link Malt, something from our neck of the woods and somebody we work with closely. And so that was kind of part of it, is we were going to use Link Malt. And then there's also issues, what it looks like bringing raw grain over the border and things like that. So we're working with the correct people and figuring that aspect out. But yeah, it's a beer that I think we both do a lot of different things like that. And so it's kind of a good meeting of minds. And we liked the idea of doing just like it's not, not going to be a sour beer, but just like a slightly lower pH to just kind of bring those refreshing notes.
Right. Yeah. Cool. So sorry if we touched on this in the beginning. I was sorting out the audio issues, but if we ask this question again, I mean, what's everybody drinking at the moment?
Oh yeah. Once again, I am having our Czech Pilsner, our Miloš, and it's pulled off a side pull handle. Matt actually has a side pull handle as well. They're kind of a rarity still in our market, but but they lend themselves to just having a really nice kind of creamy mouthfeel to that Czech Pilsner that's very authentic. So so we're stoked to pick one up, but that was based off of Matt. It's nice having your brother being a few years ahead mentally on this game.
Learn from his mistakes, right? Like,
yeah, exactly.
And whole, strokes of genius too. So that's good.
Yeah, and I got a Eyinger Doppelbock, the Celebrator, one of my all-time favorites. So,
right. I'm sad I don't have another Beer Co. beer, and I don't have an American beer. I just like drank all of it. But from Rupert came down last week, the Blacksmith Brown Ale, and I haven't had a brown ale yet in isolation, and ooh, I'm loving this brown ale. So
that's awesome.
So
I'll have to get you.
So, yeah, I mean, it's kind of a hard question because usually I go into like, what are your expansion plans at this point? But I mean, like, we're all just kind of just holding suit. So, we really can't look into the future that much, but like you've talked about, like canning product is pretty much the only way to go now. We talked to, maybe growlers can be an option. Is there any plans to shift and like maybe distribute further than what your breweries are capable at the moment, or with what you have in the tanks, do you think you're good to just serve the local market very comfortably for a few months?
I mean, I think I'll just start off on this one. The first thing that's been crazy for everybody, and you see it all online, any brewery out there right now, especially in the Metro Vancouver market, is these online sales and how we've had to just totally create, it's something that we've discussed as a brewery. We had plans of rolling it out in the spring, but not in this fashion. And it's amazing to see the speed at which all of us were like, oh, we got to change our whole model. Okay, ready, go. And like within like 3 days, everybody had online stores up and delivery. And I think this is something that's just going to be here to stay. I mean, you look at all the food options, you look at these ghost restaurants that are opening up, even
the province changing the rules where restaurants can now sell beer in those food apps. So
exactly.
It's going to lend itself, I think, over the long run for us to keep more cans being produced, because restaurants can hustle those cans. And normally you'd think of a restaurant just as a, kind of a keg sale. And now they're hustling cans maybe for you. And also we're going to maintain delivery for sure in New Westminster at a very maybe free or really cheap delivery rate over the long run. And we're looking next week at rolling out Canada Post going BC wide. And so, I mean, that's something that I never thought we'd ever, look at. It just wasn't on my radar at all.
Yeah. And that's how I got the Wheelhouse beer, was through Canada Post. So like,
really?
they never distribute, right? And they're up in Rupert. So yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome. So
and then I haven't paid too much attention, Matt, to Eastern Washington, but like what's going on there?
Yeah, it's if you've paid attention to Seattle or Western Washington, it's very similar. Everyone has got an online store doing curbside pickup and has kind of had to change their business model, but there's going to be a lot of good things that come out of it. I think, I know for us especially, we have revenue streams right now that we never really thought of, and they're going to continue going forward, because like you said, people are kind of stagnant. We are actually in the middle of an expansion right now, so perfect time to be spending a lot of money. But we're installing a few new 7-barrel fermenters, new glycol, and quite a few things that have been long overdue. But so we'll probably triple our capacity here within the next 3 weeks.
All right.
So
cool.
Yeah.
We got a bunch of people online. Again, if you have any questions for our guests there, check them in the chat, and we'll get to them here. So in terms of normal conditions here, and we're getting into springtime, what are some of your favorite beers to brew around this time of year for your respective breweries? I'll throw this one to Matt first. How about that?
Yeah. So it's kind of, I love spring drinking. We're doing kind of a lot of different hoppy lagers. So we did that Helles. We just did an Italian kind of style Pilsner, which is, a German Pilsner that's dry hopped. I mean, it's not really a style of beer, but there's people doing them, and it features kind of spicier noble hops. So like Saphir and different Hallertau, things like that. So you try to kind of promote that spicy hop character. So we just brewed that with Lumberbeard Brewing, another fairly large brewery in Spokane, and that beer turned out great. So we've been liking that. And then also this time of year, I like to do kind of lower pH saisons and do some different dry hoppings in them. So we just did a bunch of pretty heavy Hallertau Blanc dry hop on a French saison. So it's real nice, kind of white wine notes, real effervescent, low alcohol, easy to drink. So,
right. What about you, Clete?
Those sound good. We same thing. We got some lagers prepped right now. We have our Hells and an Italian Pilsner as well, our Bella Birra, and so we have both those rolling out. But I love to. I always like to start the spring season out with a nice hef. and we just do a classic Bavarian Weiss beer, and basically just try not to, try to do it as good a justice as we can in terms of making it authentic. And those beers, I mean, just crushable and designed to have, and like half-liter formats, and just a good beer to complement kind of a thicker kind of mouthfeel, a bit more punchy kind of flavors from a very crushable beer, alongside, whatever lagers you have going. So.
All right.
Yeah.
And then in terms of inspiration for your beers too, who are some of your local favorite breweries that you turn to? Who wants to take that one first?
I'll go first.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So locally, we have, in Spokane, we have a lot of great breweries. We love like Perry Street Brewing is somebody who we really enjoy. They won a Great American Beer Award, a gold medal at GABF a couple years back for a really nice like IPL. So it's kind of an Indian Pale Lager, which is really nice. And then a little more regionally, we love Chuckanut, Freem. People who can do it. Chuckanut is. Oh. Me too. Yeah. So, and then one of your friends, Varietal, we've been working with Varietal a handful of times here and have gotten pretty close to them. And so, they're cranking out some amazing beers over there.
Yeah. I mean, for us, the Chuckanut is definitely right up our alley as well. And though they're a bit bigger, but these guys just do a great job with everything. Is Aslan Brewing?
Aslan's.
Just their food and just they just kind of got a lot of things good on point. It's a great brewery to go check out with a ton of variety, and whatever they're doing stylistically, it's going to be done very well.
And you've checked out their barrel house too, right?
I have not yet. Oh. No, I have not yet. So, but you know what? What's funny is I drink and kind of look at a lot of the brewers that I don't have the luxury of being myself. We don't have any barrel aging program at ABC right now. We're operating on like a 1,350 square foot kind of facility at the moment. So everything's coming out of stainless steel. And so I love to kind of, look at the Holy Mountains, look at the even like House of Funk and the bakery, and just seeing these people doing all these beers that I am excited to do in the future, but currently just can't do it justice and don't have the space to really manage a proper barrel program. So, yeah. So
that's definitely future plans though. Yeah.
I mean, it's something that we're very excited about. But you know what? Year one, we're just stoked to just keep on just dialing in some of our hazies and some of these different sour options and just some classics like some of our lagers that we just love to brew. We love doing these kind of classic style lagers, Czech Pils and then German Pils and Hells and so. Alex cruising by in the background. So anyways, we just love brewing that stuff. We just think it's so good. So.
Right. And during this lockdown here, what's your culinary game like? Have both of you upped your culinary game? Like what are you making at home at the moment that you've started to master?
We've been talking about this. We've hit the bunch. Yeah, we got quite the thread going. So we did some really nice like barbacoa pork. I boiled beef bones for 12 hours and made a really nice pho. They have done a few different pork butts and did carnitas one night that turned out fantastic. Homemade tortillas, pickled all of our own onions and everything. So yeah, I mean the culinary game is top notch right now. I feel great.
Well, since getting into brewing, I've been just getting more and more interested in cooking. And I have a friend who was a good kind of chef. Shout out to Caleb. He moved away from the Metro Vancouver area. So I used to lean on his cooking whenever I wanted a super great meal. And now I've had to learn how to just do all these spices and everything myself. So today, actually, we had just a fantastic butter chicken with some sweet potato, kind of curried baked bites on the side. I mean, full experimentation mode, and I'm looking at recipes that take me like, half the day sometimes to complete on my days off from the brewery. So
yeah, my curry game's definitely gone up in the last few weeks too. And
good.
I'm pretty happy. With it,
yeah. These are skills you live with too.
Oh yeah.
I just got this in the back, long term.
Just done.
Yeah,
about to buy new knives.
I bought a sous vide 2 years ago, and I've been, really using that guy a lot too. So just done perfectly every time.
Hard to screw up with those. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, just before we wrap it up, for those joining the stream late, let's refresh again. How can people get your beer and anything coming in terms of buying beer from you in the next few weeks that you need to update people on?
Yeah, I'll start first. So basically, you can buy all of our beer. Just go to anotherbeerco.com. Right on the front page is our web store. Right now, that's how we're operating. Our tasting room, our brewery is open from 1 to 4 p.m. every day for you to come pick up beer. But we really encourage just to buy it online. We'll deliver it. We're hoping to have BC-wide shipping in the next week, and we have a big can drop starting next week. And so 5 new beers coming out, and some awesome stuff for this springtime. So you can look out for that. Yeah. And the other thing is we're doing that All Together beer, which we're super excited to be a part of with Other Half Brewing. And what an awesome collaboration. And I hope we just see a ton of BC breweries go and tackle this project, or, create their own kind of similar thing, whether they call it All Together or not. Just a great kind of concept that Other Half presented to everybody and challenged everybody with to support those people that buy our beer and keep our operations steady and moving when life's not chaotic.
Yeah.
So.
All right, Matt, what's the Spokane thing?
Yeah. So whistlepunk.brewing.com. We got a buy beer link there. And so you can, we keep it updated with all the different cans available. And then if you're in the Spokane area, we are open, 4 to 6 Monday through Friday and 1 to 3 Saturday for can pickup hours. We're not currently doing delivery. We just haven't had to go that route yet, but it's definitely something we're looking at and kind of working through the logistics on that. So anyways, if you're in the Spokane area, stop by. Lots of cool stuff coming out.
All right, cool. Thank you very much. Clete from Another Beer Company up there on the top box, and Matt from Whistle Punk over in Spokane, Washington on the bottom there. Thank you very much, guys. Have fun, be safe, and
thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for having us. Really appreciate it.
All right, cool. Well, hey, thanks for tuning in tonight. The show, the virtual beer show. Go out there, support your local, and yeah, have fun, be safe, everybody. Thanks again. We'll be doing this again soon in a couple days' time. So watch out on the social media channels. Go out, support Another Beer Co. Go out, support Whistle Punk, and yeah, until next time, support your local.